Hey guys, well thanks for watching again. Just have a quick little update on what I've accomplished with the Loadstar project this weekend. Sorry about that light back there. So kind of show you, I think I'm going to put off the cab install by another week, which I've known that for a few days now, but I think I've got really one more weekend of needing to work on this thing and just keep coming up with more things that would be a whole lot easier to do with the cab on, or off, I mean. So I'll kind of show you what I've been working on and what's coming up next. So yesterday I worked on the cab some more. As you can see, the passenger door is not painted. I've just got it outlined out. I'm not sure. I might wait until the cab is back on the truck to do the rest of the lettering. It's really hard to do at that level for a guy that's 6'4". And I had some minor surgery on my toe this week, and I just didn't feel like bending over and, putting pressure on it, Anyway, I guess that's my excuse, but at the end of the day, I just wasn't in the mood for it, so that did not get done. I wanted to get done with the stencil though, so that it didn't get trashed, so I did get it stenciled out. I did get most of the floor installed. Don't judge it yet. I still need some more trim pieces. You can see I used, that's just transition strip I got from hardware store. It looks like it's going to work pretty good, but I got the wrong depth of stainless screws. I got 1 inch, and with the foam padding I put underneath the floor, I need deeper. So anyway, and I also ran out on the other side there. Got a couple pieces left, and I'm going to add some. It's not going to be visible, but it's going to help hold it down better. And anyway, I'm going to add some more, but it turned out pretty well. I ended up using the old door edge guards, or whatever you want to call it. This stuff here, cab opening edge guards. That's off of the Loadstar. It still actually was in pretty good shape. It's just a weird, like, champagne color, but it kind of matches I got like a champagne colored transition strip. You probably can't see it, but kind of matches that champagne color on the door and the dash. So I don't know, it all kind of flows. I really like how much it brightens it up in here, having that brighter blonde wood floor, especially once the white headliner goes back in. It'll really be nice and bright in there. So it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. I mean, it's better than a rubber floor, and it works. So anyway, that was part of the task. I also did a fair amount of work on this rear axle. So let me crawl under here and I'll show you what we did. So it started off, I picked up new brake cans this last week, and just some 30-30 standard 2.5 inch stroke cans, which matched what was on it before, assuming that was right. They should be. And then actually it was good timing. I don't know if any of you guys watch Twin Sticks Garage, but I keep up from time to time, and he actually on Friday put out a video that was going through putting new chambers on his 359 Peterbilt working on, and same chambers, same process. So it was kind of helpful to have a video to refer back to try to make sure I got that cut right. This side in particular, I don't know if you can see very well there. But see how these are no longer caged. So this is spring brakes actuated. But see how I'm past 90 degrees, that angle right there. And the way I take it is I'm not supposed to be. So my measurement was right for my cut, but I feel like I may need to back that clevis off, another 1/2 inch or so. I've got room to do it, or just make a little bit deeper cut on that rod. So I got to do some more research and see. The other side, spin around here. The other side is also past 90, but not nearly as much. And I made those cuts exact. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But regardless, I'm understanding that those need to be at 90 degrees at full application. Obviously they come back, when that rod retracts, that slack adjuster will come back and sit at more of an angle, like my greasy hands, but sit more like that when it's said and done. So, which it does. But anyway, so it might be some minor adjustment, but regardless, we got some nice brand new chambers on there, and no worries about anything. Also got the pinion nut off. I bought a 2¼ inch socket so I could get that sucker off. The threads I think were a little bit messed up from right there. You can actually see Yeah, right there. I think I got a hammer swing into it when I was taking off the U-joint way back months and months and months ago. But regardless, got the nut off, had to work it back and forth. Helped, was nice having a big 3/4 inch drive air gun to work it back and forth. And with a little heat, I ended up heating the pinion nut, so I need to get a new one of those because it's a thread lock nut, whatever you want to call it. But regardless, got the cover off, so we're ready to replace that seal. So that's kind of underneath here. I'll show you the parts. Bear with me here. So the yoke off, and you can see that nut where I heated it. You know, it's all melted out in the plastic there, and it's probably a little bit chewed up from cleaning those threads up as it came off. Some of those threads look a little bit widened out, to be honest with you, so don't really trust it anymore. So that needs to go. This is, I'm starting to think I'm going to go to the international dealer this week, probably tomorrow, and get the seal, but you can see where I hit on it from the top. I am actually thinking that this I mean, that little seal might come out, you know, through here, but I'm starting to wonder if actually, because this is just tin, there's nothing heavy to this. I don't know why there was such large bolts holding it on, but those are big, like, I mean, they're literally like 5/8 bolts or something. But anyway, I'm starting to wonder if this whole thing is the seal. Find out when I go to the international dealer and see what's up. Also got, so I did some research. Apparently, you know, most, like I'm familiar with, not that I'm super familiar, but most air brake trucks, modern ones, have what's called relay valves. And they basically take, and they keep, you know, pressurized air very close to the rear brake chambers. And then they take an input signal through a smaller diameter line that can move air pressure faster. And it's basically just a relay. So instead of waiting for all that air to charge from a tank, it's up towards the cab, you know, from the throttle valve and all that stuff. And it just makes the brakes react faster. Well, this truck does not have relay valves. It has these, which are quick release valves. Basically means that the air that is released when you're applying the brakes doesn't have to travel all the way back up, you know, to the front. It gets released out this port on the bottom. So basically it has an inlet on the top and then 2 outlets, you know, so you've got 2 of these. One is for your service brakes and one is for your parking brakes. You know, they just sit on top of the axle, and, you know, one, you know, an outlet to each chamber for each function. These are the old ones, by the way. You can see why I replaced them. They were actually still functioning, I'm pretty sure, but, you know, this aluminum had rotted on the mounts, and they just weren't very nice looking. And these things aren't crazy expensive. They're like $40 or something. So anyway, got a couple new ones, but I just don't know yet if I'm going to add relay valves into the system too. I might try it like this. We'll see. Also got new airlines. I'm going to go up to some different sizes, up to some 3/8 threads instead of 1/2 inch. Sorry about that. Then the last thing I did was went through all my, you can see up there, my collection of hoses, taken off of both trucks. I pulled the steering cylinder. It's leaky. It's from, you know, original to the Loadstar, but I know it was leaking bad. So gonna get that rebuilt this week, and then got down every single fuel line. Luckily I'd marked everything what it was, but fuel lines, because we've got lines from, you know, tank to primary filter to secondary filter to the pump. We've got oil lines too. We've got an oil line here, and you know, an in and out basically. It used to go to the lubrifiner, which I eliminated the lubrifiner. I couldn't get the damn thing apart. It was rusted solid, so it doesn't do much good. But I still want the effect of some oil cooling. So when I get back in the house tonight, I'm going to order up just a real cheap, simple frame mount fluid cooler, like for muscle cars. It's going to go right here on top of quite a bit of space here between fuel tank and frame rail. So there's kind of a gap there underneath the cab. So I'm going to put that fluid cooler right there. Just going to get a little 12-inch one. And then, you know, you have length of line. It'll be, basically a 4-foot line that's going to go from there and loop under the frame, around the frame rails and out underneath the cab. and then back into the cooler. So just that length of line, let alone the cooler itself, will give some oil cooling capability. So so anyway, got all those lines. I got all my power steering measurements and adapters figured out. Got the right adapters to go on those oil lines to go to the 6AN fittings that'll be on the cooler I'm going to buy. Got all my radiator hose measurements. And then I've got this is what I ended up with, is this big crate of hoses with a bunch of labels. And then that cylinder's down in there too, and got a really good hydraulic place locally that I'll have build all these hoses for me. So we'll have nice brand new stuff that isn't at risk of leaking. And then I don't know if they can get me the air lines too, but I'll get all my drop lines for the to go to those quick release valves and down to the chambers. And then so I've got my my feeds up on the frame rail basically. So one or the other, whether it's him or somebody else, I'll get some new rubber drop lines too. And then I've decided that at that point I am going to run modern push to connect nylon fittings for a fair amount of the other airlines, but I'm going to run them all black. I'm not going to do the color coded thing like modern trucks are. So all black, so they kind of still look like just period correct black lines. But I'll probably keep copper from my compressor to my main feed. That one's in good shape. I've got it. It's already bent to length, so I'm just going to keep that. But after that, and then it's just going to be a whole bunch of odds and ends fittings on all these tanks to make it work. I have a feeling that'll be one of those deals where between what I've got and what I need, it'll probably be about 6,000 runs up to the hardware store in town the day or two that I'm working on that. But we'll get it done, get it figured out. So, well, guys, that's about it. That's where it stands today. So we're gonna chase some more parts this week, and then be back at it next weekend. And like I say, have another week of putting some of this stuff back together and getting stuff done and prepped and ready to lift that cab on. So I'm gonna shove it off one more week, but again, I'm not trying to rush this. I want to take my time and do it right, do it once, be done with it. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care.